In March of 2021, Mexico was rattled by a tragic incident at the Xenses water park in Playa del Carmen, involving a 13-year-old boy and one of the park's major attractions. Whilst floating on the salt rivers of the Riolajante, Leonardo was sucked into a filtration vent that had been left uncovered. This case sparked numerous investigations, revealing lapses in safety protocols, shocking malpractice, and negligence, ultimately leading to legal action against the park. But what exactly happened that day? This is the infamous death of Leonardo Guerrero. On Saturday the 27th of March 2021, 13-year-old Leonardo Luna Guerrero, along with his 3 siblings and parents, visited the Xenses water park in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. The Xenses water park is owned by the Xcaret group and is found on their holiday park, which from 2010 to 2015 was recognized as one of Mexico's best companies. In the Xenses water park, there are 17 main attractions, with one of their standouts being the Riolajante. According to Xcaret, the Riolajante is a place for people to defy gravity as they float through a salt river that keeps them afloat. There are 3 tracks within the water feature, and visitors float through warm waters underground until they reach the end. The Riolajante is a relaxing experience, and the waters are no deeper than 60 centimeters, which in theory would make it one of the safest attractions in the water park. However, prior to this incident, the Xcaret group who own the water park were no stranger to controversy. This started with the creation of the park itself, which was done by dynamiting the natural landscape to create an artificial environment. It was stated the entire natural environment was transformed for tourists. The vaults of the caverns were dynamited and artificial channels were built to build the underground river. This obviously caused upset for locals and also visitors who were tricked into thinking the park was natural. An environmentalist said there were complaints and sanctions were applied for violations for environmental laws, but that was as far as it went. And currently, people believe that they were arriving at a natural place, but everything that exists today is artificial. The once beautiful cove, which was enjoyed by local Mexicans, was now a tourist destination for the rich and inaccessible for most people in the area. Since opening the resort, multiple people have lost their lives or been injured due to human error, such as the case in August 2016 when a fire broke out on the zipline tower with the maintenance crew still inside. Luckily, all of them made it out alive with minor injuries. The cause was a cigarette. In January of 2017, the Xcaret transport bus tipped over, leaving 54 injured and 2 dead. This was caused by dangerous driving. One of the more controversial deaths occurred in September of 2017 when a slab fell from the resort's hotel, crushing a worker to death. At first, the company lied, claiming it was due to an electrical cause, but further investigation found that it fell due to poor welding. No one was charged. Scarily enough, a few months before the death of Leonardo, a man found himself in the same predicament after being sucked into a vortex on a similar attraction known as the Lodorama. The Lodorama is the same kind of thing, but it's a mud bath. The man's partner said, "In January of this year, I travelled to Playa del Carmen and stayed at the Xcaret Hotel with my partner and we visited Xenses. We were on the Lodorama attraction, I was in the right lane and he was in the left. We took a GoPro and we recorded everything. Almost at the end of the route, my partner yelled at me that a current was pulling him in. I took it lightly, I thought it was a joke. But after seeing his expression, I saw that it was not like that. Luckily, the woman managed to pull her boyfriend out and save him, and after, he didn't know how lucky he was." Leonardo and his family, including his father Miguel Calvo, boarded the ride together at approximately 4 PM in the afternoon. The two were floating around the course, chatting, when suddenly Leonardo was violently sucked into the waters. At first, the family believed he was playing a joke on them, but he failed to resurface. Little did Miguel know, his son's leg had been sucked into one of the pool filtration systems and shattered. A pool's filtration system is a mechanism that cleans and circulates water in the swimming pool, removing debris and impurities. They should always be covered. Miguel jumped over to pull his son out of the filter, but the suction was so strong he was unable to do so. Due to the suction from the filtration system, Leonardo was now in pain and underwater. By this point, other park visitors could see the commotion and jumped in to help Miguel free his son. A group of them managed to do so and got him out of the water, but the child was now unconscious. Miguel, being a trained doctor, was screaming at staff to get him a respirator, but they were not trained to deal with the situation. He said, "My son's leg was sucked into the river's filtration system. At that moment, I pulled it out, removed the screen, and took my son out. When the park staff arrived to provide help, I asked the staff for a respirator. I am a doctor, cardiologist." He went on to say, "As the ambulance arrived, I gave my son mouth-to-mouth respiration. Minutes later, the ambulance arrived without oxygen. The staff had absolutely no notion whatsoever of what first aid is." Leonardo was transported to the Amerimed Hospital in Playa del Carmen, but his father was far from pleased at how he was treated. Miguel said, "From there, we arrived at the hospital. My son needed a catheter and they didn't put it on him. I offered myself as a cardiologist to put it in. It's my specialty. I'm an expert in that area, and they wouldn't let me. I asked to transport my son to Mexico City via air ambulance, and at that point in time, I started having differences with the medical staff of the hospital. They did not let me call the air ambulance. I had the impression that they did not want my son to leave Quintana Roo." Leonardo was admitted to the private clinic for drowning by submersion and leg injuries. Although initially doctors managed to stabilise him, he died the next day from a pulmonary hemorrhage as a result of drowning. An investigation into the incident was launched. In the aftermath, officials closed down the attraction and claimed it would be closed until the investigation was complete. Although they acknowledged the grid was not on the filtration system, the Xcaret group released a statement saying, "It is important to highlight that from the moment of the accident, the area was secured and specific measures have been taken, such as the permanent presence of a lifeguard. We are conducting the pertinent investigations with the aim of reaching the ultimate consequences." Investigators questioned staff, who quickly informed them that there was maintenance work done on the attraction recently and there should have been a grid placed over the filtration system. The head of civil protection told the media, "In the reports, park staff informed us that there was negligence since one of the workers left open one of the grates." Civil protection then fined the park owner 150,000 pesos, which is the equivalent to $7,500. This obviously caused outrage, but it was the highest that the civil protection could apply. Shockingly, it came out that Miguel was forced to sign a legal waiver freeing the park from legal responsibility. He claimed whilst waiting in the hospital, staff would not release the boy's body until he signed it. He said, "They asked me to sign a pardon in favour of Xenses Park beforehand, which was highly conditioned by the Xcaret group's legal advisors. Seeing the emotional health of my wife, and not wanting her to suffer more, I signed the document. They put a lot of pressure on me." He was also not allowed to make a statement, but he later said on social media, "My son died due to negligence in the park. If we don't make this public, it will continue to happen." Despite signing this legal waiver, a wrongful death lawsuit was opened after this information became public. 9 months after the lawsuit was filed, a reparation agreement was signed by the park and Leonardo's parents. It is unclear what deal they agreed to, and no one was charged in relation to the boy's death. Riolajante has since been reopened to the public. Unfortunately, as every source for this was in Spanish, I was unable to find any further details. May Leonardo rest in peace. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. Let me know what you think about this case in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.